It's been one of the craziest sports weeks of all time, if not the craziest ever. The NBA is suspended for at least 30 days. Rudy Gobert was the first NBA player to test positive for the coronavirus, and then Donovan Mitchell, and then Detroit's own Christian Wood. We don't know how long the NBA will be suspended for. This is an unprecedented moment in sports history. But how does it affect the Detroit Pistons? Let's take a look. First, let's pretend as if the season is officially over, canceled. The Pistons finished with the 5th worst record in the NBA at 20-46, giving them a 42% chance to end up in the top 3 of the lottery and a 10.5% chance of landing the number 1 pick. A long time ago, someone on this channel predicted the Pistons would go 44-38, but I promise it was not me. The Pistons were absolutely devastated with injuries this season. They got 18 games out of their best player, Blake Griffin, who opted for knee surgery. They only got 14 games out of Reggie Jackson, who was bought out and joined the Clippers' non-existent title chase. They got 28 games out of Luke Kennard, who battled knee injuries all season. Looking on the bright side though, they got 62 games out of Christian Wood, who averaged 24 points over the last 10 games of the Pistons season after the Drummond trade, including a 30-point, 11-rebound performance against Rudy Gobert and the Utah Jazz. Which, this is the game that it's assumed Christian Wood contracted the coronavirus, which may or may not be true, we don't know. Wood was getting a lot of press when the season ended. Many were calling for him to be in the conversation for the NBA's most improved player. If the NBA ends up giving out awards for this season, there's a good case for Wood to be named most improved. Wood is also slated to be a free agent this offseason, whenever the offseason is, whenever the season officially ends, and I think he's in line for a big payday. Coming in as a player who was a fringe roster spot player, the Pistons will be smart to keep Christian Wood at any cost that does not exceed $20 million per year, which is kind of a lot, but I've spoken so many times in the past year on this channel about my belief in Christian Wood. He is going to be a good player in the league for a few years here. He is 24 years old, so he's not some young star. 24, he's got some miles on him, but he's going to be a good player. The Drummond trade opened up the way for Christian Wood to grow up in Detroit and become a real player, a fan favorite. I think he feels home here. I really hope everything with the coronavirus turns out okay for him, any other player in the league, any staff member, anybody in the whole world in general. I hope the coronavirus ends, we get our basketball back, and everyone ends up healthy and okay. Make sure you wash your hands for 20 seconds, stay away from people, and be smart about how you go about your day. Take care of your at-risk family members for sure. The Pistons only got 4 games out of Jordan McRae, but he's a solid rotation player in my book. Small sample size, but I liked him more than anybody else at the end of the Pistons bench. Great pickup off the waiver wire. He's a scoring punch, which was much needed after the Pistons lost Derrick Rose due to injury. As the youngest player in the NBA, Sekou Doumbouya played in 38 games, scored 6 points per game, and he was always going to struggle this season, but he showed enough flashes to prove that he's worth all of this hype surrounding him. He is 19 years old, so every offseason and new season from him until he's 23 or so will be important to track his development. And honestly, I don't think he's that far away from being a rotation player. He's not this superstar everyone thinks he could be yet. It's going to be his consistency, his buy-in, his work ethic, and just his ability to make plays in the game that will need to show through in order for him to stick around this league for a long time. And you got to pair him with whoever the Pistons draft this offseason, who's going to be young too. Hopefully they get a point guard and they'll set themselves up nicely for the future. From my standpoint, the Pistons should be drooling over Killian Hayes in this draft. It's a weak draft. Another player they could pick up would be LaMelo Ball, Denny Avdia, Devin Vassell. But if this season is really over, if the NBA cancels the season and this is the last we get of our Pistons, we had some great times and some pretty bad times following the Pistons. We tracked Sekou's development from draft day until now, Dwayne Casey falling out of favor for Pistons fans, the rise of Christian Wood, the resurgence of Derrick Rose, and the fall of Blake Griffin, the departure of Reggie Jackson and Andre Drummond. I'm not sure if the coronavirus is what will officially end the Pistons season, but I need to say this. I've had a blast covering the Pistons this season on this channel. Lastly, I want to say thank you to everyone who's tuned into our videos, podcasts, and articles this season. You guys have turned Palace of Pistons from a website into a podcast into the best Pistons channel on YouTube. Thank you to everyone who has followed along, and there will be plenty more Pistons content to come through, even in these uncertain times. Make sure you subscribe to our channel for more Pistons content. Check out the Palace of Pistons podcast, which comes out every week and is awesome. Make sure you follow Palace of Pistons on Twitter, and sauce me a follow too at TimForkinTV. Once again, thank you for watching, and we hope to see you guys again soon.